Hello folks, welcome back to the channel, and it's kind of like coming home again because we are in X-Plane. The first time in well over a year. It might even be 2 years since I first did a video of X-Plane 12. And funny enough, this channel started with X-Plane 11. I've got well over 100 videos on the channel. But then Microsoft Flight Simulator appeared and completely changed the game. Well, in this video, I'm going to revisit X-Plane with their new, not so new release now, 12 in the Pimax Crystal Super to see how things have changed and if this is a formidable option and maybe even better than MSFS 2024. So, also, I'm going to be using the motion rig and my force feedback yoke for the very first time on camera with X-Plane. I've never used it before. So yeah, I think that's quite an exciting theme for a video. What do you think? So if you're interested, stick around and stay tuned after a quick word from VRWave. Because they offer a tailor-made solution to your lens inserts, and they cover a wide selection of VR headsets, such as the Quest series, Pimax, PSVR2, HTC, Pico, and soon the Pimax Super as well. Now, even if you don't wear glasses, it's important to protect your lenses, and of course if you do wear glasses, then it makes it all day comfortable. You can have blue light filter, and they also account for astigmatism, nearsighted and farsightedness. So check out my 5% discount in the notes below. So it looks like everything is how it was before. I'm using the Pimax Crystal Super controller here, which I never used. They feel pretty good actually, they work really well. Let's create a new flight. I'm going to do something very simple here, okay folks? Nothing too crazy. I have messed around a little bit in 2D mode, but this is the first time that I'm using VR in X-Plane 12 for a very long time. Let's head out of... What do you think, folks? I can't decide. I'm not sure what to do. See, I've really planned this video very well, haven't I? Let's go to... Let's go to Manchester, okay? And if we click on it... That's it, I remember now. It's all coming back to me. We can choose, hopefully, a taxiway. I think. Oh, yes, ramp. Okay. Let's start. You know, one thing I've always said about X-Plane, and that is I personally feel that the UI system is better in X-Plane 12. Case in point, if I now go to the settings and controllers, it's already got all of my bindings for my controllers. Even this LS60 is included. Look. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to bind anything. It works out of the box. And that goes to my LS60, which I was really surprised about, as well as my Velocity 1 rudder pedals, Bravo, you know. So that in itself is very, very cool. I like that. Anyway, let's go for a flight out of Manchester. Let's use the Cirrus for now, and we'll fly over Derbyshire and see what it looks like. And for this, I've got True Earth scenery as well, the Orbex True Earth scenery for X-Plane 12 as well. And we've got real world weather on. I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to see what this feels like. So let's get cracking. I'll see you inside the cockpit. So here we are, folks, and this might be not a great reflection of X-Plane in terms of the airports because I haven't got any add-on airport scenery installed for this first impressions, okay? This is just default X-Plane, but what I do love about this is because of their gateway service, the airports, even though they are default, actually do look better than the default airports in MSFS, in my opinion. Now, I do have loads of add-ons for X-Plane, and I'll check them out. I might even do a separate video showcasing some, really nice add-ons like the TBM 900 I used to fly all the time, and lots of airfields that I've got over the years. But I do have, as I say, the True Earth package. That is by Orbex, which covers the entire UK, including custom, auto-gen, points of interest, everywhere. I remember when this came out, it was probably the best thing Orbex ever made, really. But anyway, over here, as you can see here, we're sort of porting ourselves around the airfield using the controller, which I really like. This is our Steve for today. This is a Cirrus, and you can use the menu here to climb aboard, which I really like. Let me just go a little bit further back and then centre, just because I want to be a bit closer. There we go. So this is real world weather, and in the UK today, I know for a fact it's not a great day, but we've got some sunshine and showers, which again is perfect for me to sort of assess what the weather is like. And I must say the volumetric clouds do look very good from this perspective. I used to moan all the time about X-Plane 12 when it was first released because it was a mess in VR, absolute mess, and the volumetric clouds used to look terrible. But so far so good. One thing I have noticed though is I've got an issue with anti-aliasing, whether that's a bug in X-Plane or not, but if I switch on anti-aliasing, it makes everything look all weird and basically all discoloured. So I'm not actually using any AA at all in this, but this feels very smooth so far. But let's crack on now and make sure we've got everything. We'll put the strobes on and everything now. This is not meant to be a realistic flight. It's just me. Basically, it's a raw first impressions. Seeing how things feel. You know, one thing I really love about X-Plane, that's the tactile feedback you get. As you touch things, you really get a sense, you feel it with the haptic controller far better than MSFS. But the real thing about this, what I want to know, can I grab that? No, I can't. But the real thing I want to know is, how does this feel? How does this stack up when compared to MSFS 2024? It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So with that being said, I can't quite believe that all of my control bindings work straight away. Oh, hang on. No, they don't. Hang on a sec. Something's not quite right there. Yeah, that's not right. Right, hang on a minute. Let's just calibrate my controls, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we're back, and I've calibrated all my bindings. Looks like we're using toe brakes here to taxi. Let's just get airborne here. I'm struggling, if I'm honest. As you can see here, I am struggling. I don't know why I can't use rudder input, but that's fine. We'll crawl to the runway and get going. These things are just teething problems, folks. This is because I haven't used this sim in getting on 2 years. So let's just get airborne. I'm hoping, in fact actually I'm not really feeling that my motion rig is working either. Hopefully that will work. And let's go. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, these rudders aren't working as well, very well. That's fine. Oh, hang on, I think I am feeling some motion. Yes, I am feeling motion. So this is it, the very first takeoff in X-Plane 12 with my H2. Let's see how it feels here. Feels a little bit laggy actually. Okay, never mind. So what does this feel like visually compared to MSFS 2024? Well, you know what, in VR it actually looks very, very good. One thing I've always said, and people disagree with me on this one, some people agree, that's fine. It's okay to have an opinion, folks. No need to get so angry in the comments, but I think the lighting in X-Plane has always been far superior. It really has. I don't know what it is, they've just nailed the lighting. In terms of FPS, I'm not quite sure what we're getting, but it doesn't feel amazing. I'm thinking probably 35 frames per second. I am running the Crystal Super at full native resolution. I'm not using any upscaling either. And the settings, I've got pretty much all of them maxed out apart from Autogen is at high instead of maximum. The clouds are on maximum, which is probably not a good idea in VR. I am running a 9800X 3D processor with a MSI 5090. And yeah, I'm trying to work out if there's any lag. It's not too bad. But yeah, this is looking really nice here. As you can see, this is True Earth by Orbex. Let's just go outside. If I can remember how to do it. It's that one, I think. There we go. And even the hat switch is working as well. That's brilliant. I must say that looks pretty damn good to me. Wow. You even see over there some hot air balloons. A nice touch. We'll just meander over there for a bit. We'll head over to the Derbyshire Dales. Now, one thing about the Orbex True Earth, it's not as high resolution as MSFS. It really isn't. But it still looks really good, hopefully, as you can see here. And there's a few things that are better about this than MSFS in terms of the scenery. Of course, when you're using add-on scenery, that is the fact that this is always on my hard drive. I don't have to stream this. I can use this offline if I want to, and it'll look the same as this because it's on my hard drive. Also, with the True Earth scenery, you do get a lot of points of interest. You know, you get some cities that have been reworked. I mean, overall, I think it's a very nice representation of the UK. The only thing is, as I've said, is the resolution is a lot lower. And there we go, there's those hot air balloons, very cool. But once you're above, say, 500 feet or so, it's okay. Now, of course, with X-Plane 12, out of the box, you don't get all of the fancy scenery, real world data all over the place, satellite imagery, photogrammetry. You know, it doesn't compete. Absolutely not. We all know this, folks. I think that's stating the obvious, to be honest. I don't really need to touch upon it too much here because you do need to buy your own scenery in the areas you want to fly. Now, I do believe there is a new, I think it's a freeware program, which basically does the same thing as MSFS and gives you worldwide satellite imagery. And I will try that if you're interested, folks, because I don't think this video is going to get a lot of interest, but you know, if you are interested, I will check out that mod and really get deep into X-Plane 12 again, because one thing that is hitting me as I'm flying around is just that fluid feeling of flight. X-Plane does that just that bit better than MSFS. Now, in the past, it used to be a night and day difference, you know? MSFS used to feel like flying on rails, and X-Plane was always the go-to sim when you want that real sort of just that feeling of flight and flight modelling. But I think that's changed over the years, and the gap has got a lot closer. Look at that, I like that. You can see there, the sun is just casting rays on the ground over there. And over here, in fact, it's just changed a little bit. This is a lot more gloomy looking. Yeah, the lighting is so much better in X-Plane. Although it is a little bit finicky. It's going in and out a bit. You know, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it does give the illusion here that I am flying over the UK. But yeah, I must admit, I think especially with add-on aircraft, it is closer than it used to be. Having said that, I've got to remember I am using a default plane here. I'm not using a payware aircraft, which I will do as well if you're interested. Now again, in terms of frame rate, MSFS definitely wins on that one, especially as we've got dynamic favorited rendering. I don't think we have anything like that for X-Plane. And it's very shimmery. I'm not sure, it might look actually worse on the VR recording than it does in the headset, but that is quite shimmery. Let me just change that, because the thing I'm getting, folks, I'll show you this. For some reason, I'm getting an issue. Hang on. You've got to go to new flight, even though we don't have a new flight. If I add in, these are my graphic settings at the moment, look, full resolution, everything pretty damn high, I would say. If I add in MSAA, then suddenly it looks awful. Are you ready for this? I'm going to show you this because, well, this is the first impressions. Here we go, resume flights. Oh my god! That's awful. Now, why is that happening? Why is that happening? I can't even, yeah, there's no way I can obviously use that. So I'm taking that back. I don't really want to use FXAA. Yeah, that's definitely a help with the shimmering. But in terms of the raw clarity, it's just a little bit softer. But it might look better on the VR recording, I'm not quite sure. So I've now just put my FPS up, and we're getting about 35 to 40 frames per second. Whilst recording with the Crystal Super at full native resolution. So to be fair, it's not a million miles away from MSFS, but I think for a lesser computer, I am running a top-end system. I think you're going to struggle with this, especially with these settings anyway. Interesting. But I must say, in terms of the visuals, I'm not thinking this looks awful, and it probably looks a lot worse on the VR recording than it does in the headset itself. Very gloomy here. Wow. A weird effect there going on as well underneath the aircraft. I'm not quite sure what that is. Okay, go back into the cockpit again. I wouldn't mind finding a bit of rain. Let's see if we can do that. So range. To be fair, I don't think there's any rain appearing on the map. Not that I can see. I might just mess around with the weather in a moment. But yeah, you know, it's really great to be back using True Earth Great Britain. As I say, I used to fly over this all the time. I've got 100 videos on the channel flying an X-plane over True Earth Great Britain, as well as a few others as well. I think we had some American ones as well, like Seattle and San Francisco. Wonder if the flap's working. Yeah, look at that, it's even bound the flap. I haven't done anything to these controls, and it's already working really well. So let's just sum up a little bit here. In terms of the feeling of flying, X-Plane still wins, absolutely, although I do feel things are closer than they used to be. In terms of the visual, sort of the graphical fidelity, well, so long as you've got some decent scenery to add into the mix, whether it's the streaming software, which I've yet to try, which I think is a freeware offering, but even things like Orbex True Earth, it actually starts to look pretty damn good. Like this scene here is very convincing. The clouds look really good. The volumetric clouds look a lot better than they used to. The cockpit of this aircraft looks good. I think it's not quite up to the standards of MSFS in terms of the texture detail, but this is just a default plane, of course. But you got all the other good stuff, like the flight modelling, like the better UI, and it's just less of a faff in some areas. You know, you don't have to worry about the online aspect of this sim because it's completely offline. which I really do like. Although if you like flying with friends, that might be an issue. I'm not quite sure what's happened to my controller there. That's weird. I think it might be the other one that's fallen asleep. I remember having that issue before actually with the Oculus. But I really like how the Crystal Super is working perfectly now, because we now have that in X-Plane 12 native. OpenXR is finally here. So there is definitely some improvements. And this overall is feeling way better than my first experience with X-Plane 12, because I was very, very critical when it was first released. And he dropped my controller then. I was very critical, and I just basically said, don't even bother with it. And I like this. This is feeling good. Right, anyway, let's just let's change the weather now, okay? Let's just mess around and change the weather to something a bit different before we end this first impressions video, because I don't want to be long about this, but I just thought I'd mess about. So yeah, VR scattered. Let's get a bit of precipitation in there as well. Visibility. I like how you can change the visibility as well. A lot easier. I just love this menu system. Far better than MSFS. Absolutely. Right then, so we've now changed the weather. It's looking really nice. I love the atmosphere in this. As we're over speeding. We've also got a flyby, or we used to have. That's not it. I can't remember how you do that now. You've also got things like ATC. A nice little window here. I think the VR implementation overall is a bit better. Or you can get flight following now. Let's just try this, see what happens.
London Control, November 550, Charlie Romeo, alone, Cessna SR-22, from Baltimore, altitude 2,300.
That's cool.
POV, request traffic service.
That's new. Can't hear you very well, but...
Swap 1105, QNH 1013.
Oh, I like that.
0, Charlie Romeo.
Yes, I do like that a lot. Is there a way of requesting a landing clearance at an airfield? Request... Oh, look at this. Request weather en route. Oh, this is brilliant. Oh, yeah, no, I like this. I like this a lot. They've changed this big time. East Midlands. Ooh, yeah, let's go there.
0, Charlie Romeo. Request flight condition.
Let's go there. Light winds, variable visibility. Can't quite hear this guy very well. Okay, yes, I really like that. There's been quite a few changes since I've last tried X-Plane 12. Yeah, I like this here with the blue sky coming here, the lighting changing. Got some shadows, I could actually make them a bit better. Sorry about this controller, it's a bit annoying, but I can't do anything about that. Sorry folks. This is the first impressions, so that's exactly what you're getting here. Right, oh, better read back.
Swap 1105.
I don't think I've actually done that. Oh, now my dogs are going crazy. That must mean Melissa's back home. Let's put this code in first. 1105. That's it, and then we need to make sure we're in alpha mode as well, which we are. They should be able to find us now, all being well.
Swap 1105, 0, Charlie Romeo.
Let's now put in our little direct to E, G, N, X, and enter that. There we go. We're heading to East Midlands, folks, and we are in-flight following, which is basically the same as a basic service in the UK. Yeah, this is quite a difference from when I first tried X-Plane 12. This is actually not that bad at all. Question is, folks, are you interested in X-Plane content? Especially with, you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator sort of, I think a lot of you out there are getting a bit fed up with the issues with it. You want to try something different. This could be your next sim, who knows? And I could start using this a lot more. Let me know, folks, anyway. But this is feeling really good. I've got tons of add-ons for X-Plane. I've got Just Flight FS traffic. I've got loads of Orbex airfields, scenery. I've got loads of aircraft that I've got over the years. I'm presuming most of it will work with X-Plane 12. I'm quite excited to get into this again. This is completely different. If you watch my video, in fact I'll leave a link in the notes below if I remember, of my first impressions of X-Plane 12. And I even had another video after that one checking out the VR performance, and in each case I was really underwhelmed. I just hated it. I was not impressed at all. So this is a massive difference, the fact I'm feeling this quite excited about X-Plane 12 now. This is feeling good. Yeah, I'm liking this. And I'm not feeling like I'm missing out on the visual fidelity of MSFS. Don't get me wrong, it is better. But X-Plane 12 just hits differently. Especially if you are a real aviation enthusiast and you love that fluid flight modelling. And I recognise everything there, looking really nice. You've even got nice water masking. Like I say, the resolution isn't quite that you'd find, but I'll tell you one thing you don't get, and that's blurry textures in X-Plane 12. They are very sharp. Right, anyway, let's just find somewhere to land that's actually in the photographic area, should we say. And then we'll wrap this little first impressions up before it gets too long. Right, I reckon I've actually found something already, folks. I can see a beautiful looking castle and what looks like an airfield next to it. Is that an airfield? Oh no, I don't think it is actually. Okay, no worries. I might land there anyway, to be honest, just for the hell of it. But look at this. This is part of the Orbex True Earth package. Not quite sure where this is. It's in Derbyshire somewhere. That's looking really nice. And in VR it looks way better than what you're probably seeing. But that's cool. I like that. Just got to find somewhere to land now. Let's have a look, see if this new air traffic control menu can help. Uncertain of position, that's cool. We've tried that already with the weather. Request visual landing at airport. I really like this. Yeah, annoyingly we can't go to East Midlands because I haven't got the scenery installed. That's one thing you might find with the X-Plane. You do need to prepare and have that scenery sorted out. But yeah, look, we're quite low down here and this looks really nice. What do you think, folks? In VR, in the Crystal Super, this is looking really good. I'm going to head over to this airfield here. No idea what it is. Echo Golf 22. And we'll see if we can land there. And I would like to just check out the rain effects again as well. So let's just quickly do that. Flight config. Oh, that's better. That's the way you go. Right, I'm getting used to this, folks. I'm getting used to it more and more. Let's go broken. Bit more visibility. And I don't think, actually, we didn't add precipitation. I thought we did. Let's try that. Oh right, okay. That's interesting. We did have some rain. Where are the rain effects? Is that something I need to maybe I don't have that set in the settings. Let's have a look just in case I've missed it. It's possible. I don't see anything here for rain effects in VR. Unless I'm doing something wrong, which is possible. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, let's go for a landing, folks. But I'll wrap this up. Oh, hang on. That just appeared. Okay. They're a bit sporadic. Look a bit weird, if I'm honest. They're not terrible, but it's nice to have them. Good old lib rain effects. I used to get so excited back in the day when we used to get rain effects, because that was something that was a massive feature. You know, I think it was lib rain, which was like a freeware developer that was the first to add it in, and I think this is probably what we're seeing here. And I think the way this works is it's not like a script. It's not a scripted sequence. The raindrops kind of appear depending and behave differently depending on your speed and the wind direction and all that kind of stuff. But that can mean it looks a bit weird at times. But I think the important question is, does this feel immersive for me? Yes, 100%. This does feel very immersive. And I reckon if I spent a few weeks really tweaking X-Plane 12, getting some decent VR settings, I reckon I can make this look and perform a lot better as well. So again, if you're interested in that series of videos, let me know in the comments below. But this is a refreshing alternative to MSFS, it really is, and I'm glad I've waited this long in a way, because it's taken probably 2 years for X-Plane 12 to get where it is now. And I must say, I can see the difference. They've done a lot here to really improve it. I really do like the clouds now and the lighting and everything. Still a bit shimmery, and I'm sorry that's going to look awful probably on the VR recording. I don't know why I'm getting that weird issue with the anti-aliasing. In any case, now we're going to try and land. Is that a strip there? I'm not sure. Let's see if we can have a look here. Slow down. And we're landing there. Oh, zoom. The VR zoom still works. That's cool. Don't really need that in the Crystal Super though. Trimming is working well. The Silla 60 force feedback yoke is working okay. I think I'd need to tweak that a little bit. I don't really feel any vibration, but again, that could be just that I need to set it and get it configured. But the fact it just works out of the box is amazing. That saved me about an hour of messing around with bindings. Well, apparently there is an airfield around here, but I'm not quite sure where that is. Another thing that I really like about X-Plane is the road traffic behaves far more realistic. It just looks so much better. It's also in the correct position. Being the UK, they drive on the left, and you also get trains as well, which is very cool indeed. Still can't see this airfield. Where is it? Oh, it's in front of us. Right, I've got visual. Okay, let's do this. My first landing in X-Plane 12 in a motion rig ever. And of course, being X-Plane, if you want to side slip, I'm sure it'll work perfect. Although I must admit, I do need to calibrate the rudders. I forgot to do that. But yeah, it feels like I'm riding on a cushion of air. And I think the only way you can experience that in MSFS is with pay-wear aircraft, such as A2A. This is looking nice. Not bad at all. Definitely the motion rig needs a bit more tweaking as well. Whoa! Not quite sure what happened there. That was awful. Oh, I'm not gonna end on that. Let's go around and do that again. That was terrible. I'm not quite sure. I think yeah, talking of calibration, I need to calibrate the yoke, because that was an awful landing. That felt very rough. We'll do that one more time, folks. Try and redeem myself with a better landing. Sort of dropped out the sky a bit there. Oh, look at that scene there. The dark cloud, you've got some blue sky, the rain effects, the beautiful English countryside. Running very nice in VR at the moment. I'm getting 45 frames per second, which is what I've locked to anyway. Yeah. Generally, this is an alternative for your flight sim hobby now. I think X-Plane 12 is finally at a point where it's not too bad. Right, slow down here. Oh, I'm using the wrong... it's weird because this is the speed brake. This is my throttle, which is number 2 throttle, and I keep forgetting. Right, flaps coming down. I definitely think the OpenXR integrations help with this. For sure. That's giving back plenty more performance, because before it was just Steam VR, and that really just did not work very well. Alright, have we got hardware trim? Yes, we have. I actually can feel some of the forces with the Scylla 60. Of course, I am using a yoke. I know it's a stick in this series, so don't hate me too much in the comments. Here we go then, final landing. For better or for worse, yeah, the force feedback trim is working. Little bit quick. That's better. The bumps and stuff are interesting, how they're sort of implemented in VR. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. There we are, folks. That is my updated opinion on X-Plane 12 VR. And you know what? I think it's finally ready for prime time. It's not perfect, of course. No complex flight simulator is. I think you're asking too much, you know, for that. But it's good enough now to enjoy it and use it. And it's definitely a alternative to MSFS. If you're interested in more content, oh, that's the flaps, with X-Plane, because as I say, this is just a raw first impressions, then let me know in the comments below. Oh, I can hear the rain. Nice. But for now, thank you for watching. Am I about to get out? There we go. Thank you for watching this little video of X-Plane 12. Let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care, and bye for now. Now, the question is there a cafe nearby? It's a bit quiet around here. Oh look, you've actually got the sound of cars going by. Oh, I just got run over. That was weird in VR. That's cool. Oh, and look, also got trees that move in the wind. Yeah, I like it. That's quite a view, that is actually. Beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm going to be in X-Plane for most of the day, I think. Which is the first time I've ever said that in VR for many, many years.